It has toppled monuments, destroyed priceless artifacts, and erased whole civilizations. Time. And yet throughout history, humanity has fought to conquer it. Every generation, every culture, every faith has sought to preserve its legacy against decay, to protect mankind's progress from being lost forever. In this episode, we're going to show you how the Church of Scientology drew on ancient techniques and pioneered new advances in archival technology to defy the elements and safeguard its most precious asset, its religious technology. You'll see how passion and perseverance fueled one of the world's youngest religions to take on humanity's oldest adversary, time itself. This is a look inside the Church of Scientology's archival project. This is the scripture of the Scientology religion. It consists of more than 75 million written and recorded words, and over 70 films. It contains the entire spiritual technology that is Scientology. The only major religion founded in the 20th century. It's also the only one with all of its original material fully intact. The Church's archival project was created with a single purpose: to safeguard the scripture of Scientology for all future generations. The team, consisting of members of the Church's religious order, will need to solve one of humanity's most ancient riddles. How does one truly conquer time? The project will have 3 phases: preservation, archiving, and permanent storage. First is preservation. These handwritten pages, audio tapes, and films are the source of all Scientology's books and materials, all authored by the Church's founder, L. Ron Hubbard. But these physical artifacts have a finite lifespan. To survive, they must be preserved. Next, in archiving, the team will design and create archival editions of each item, strong enough to last thousands of years. Finally, the team will design a series of time capsules and atmospherically controlled vaults to protect the materials against anything time may bring, rendering the scripture virtually indestructible. In total, this will represent one of the largest independent archival projects in history. It will require the team to push the limits of technology and make breakthroughs that will impact the entire field of archival science.
When we consulted with the British Museum, the National Archives, the Smithsonian, we wanted to find out, how did the best archivists in the world do things? We knew that each one of them had huge bodies of materials, millions of documents, both written works and audiovisual works. And we found that while they had the best intentions and they used state-of-the-art technology, there were definitely limits on what they could do. And many times the materials are lost forever. Even the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock's signature is disappearing off the page.
The biggest barrier to overcome in making these archives was actually finding technology that would last to ensure that these materials would be there permanently for future generations.
The church's archival team compiles a comprehensive list of the world's best solutions for preservation, archiving, and storage. But it's a list full of limitations. The team's only option is to innovate and to take the world's most cutting-edge archival technology to the next level. Up next, a race against time, as the archival team works to preserve its most precious and most fragile documents. And later, the church fuses an ancient art with modern precision.
Time is pretty cruel to ancient documents. It's just the natural processes, especially when we're writing on organic materials, they deteriorate. We know that people produced a lot of records, but a lot of those records have disappeared just because they were written on unstable medium.
Phase 1 of the Church of Scientology's archival project is preservation, preserving Mr. Hubbard's original written documents.
The reason these documents are so important to the church is because they are the originals, and that's really the simplicity of it. That's the source material for our religion, and that's what we're preserving.
The team begins by designing the Document Preservation Lab. It's a clean, low light, low humidity, and temperature-controlled environment. It's in this room the team will commence their first crucial step. This handwritten document is nearing the end of its physical lifespan. To preserve it, the team will need to defy a natural process built into the paper itself. Even in the absence of all external factors, natural acid within the paper breaks it down from the inside. Over time, the page will slowly destroy itself and eventually turn to dust. This gives the average sheet of paper a lifespan of only 40 years.
That was really the driving force behind it, realizing that if we didn't get this thing done now, we may not have another chance.
Initial inspection takes stock of all evidence of elemental damage and acid decay. The paper is scanned in high resolution, creating a digital master. Next, the team removes dirt and surface particles. The staple is removed to prevent rust and tearing, and the creases are rolled out. They clean the moisture damage with archival solvents and carefully bake any trace of moisture out of them. Next, each page is interleaved with a custom-designed archival paper. This special page is made with calcium carbonate, which neutralizes acid decay and prevents future deterioration. The original is then filed in an acid-free folder and placed in a climate-controlled storage. With all steps complete, the team has all but seized the natural cycle of decay, extending this document's lifespan from decades to centuries. It is now a matter of perseverance, as there are 2.3 million pages to preserve. The archival project logs each original in a digital inventory, organizing the materials into chronological sequence and ensuring that the team's library represents the complete collection of Mr. Hubbard's work. But it's here they begin to discover gaps.
There were definitely crucial Scientology scriptures that, while we may have copies, we did not have the original.
To locate these missing items, the team will need to retrace Mr. Hubbard's steps to the international sites he visited. It's a search that will span 4 continents.
It includes places like Melbourne, Australia, Los Angeles, New York, London, Johannesburg, South Africa.
We found missing tapes, we found missing charts in places we would never have guessed that there would have been.
These early manuscript drafts with Mr. Hubbard's own notes and edits were recovered in Washington, D.C. And in Philadelphia, Mr. Hubbard dubbed these 54 charts the non-existent charts, when they vanished after a series of lectures he had been invited to give.
The charts have been missing for years, since the mid-50s. However, we had an idea that maybe they still existed somewhere, and we sent one of our archivists to Philadelphia where those lectures were given, and amazingly found them in an attic. that was like astounding. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was like, are these actually really the missing charts? And it turned out they were. It was a very exciting moment.
With the gaps filled and document preservation fully underway, the project moves to its next phase, archiving. Their first priority, more than 5,000 original audio recordings.
The original lectures were recorded on the best tape that was available at the time, but that was 1950. In the early 50s, magnetic tape had just come out.
So we basically wanted to take those tapes and put them onto a truly archival tape that's the best tape in the industry right now.
The team must extract the audio data before the iron oxide coating disintegrates, along with the recorded data. The team begins by designing 4 audio facilities with special low-flow air conditioning units and ultra-quiet electrical systems. Floor-to-ceiling lead-lined walls absorb low-frequency sounds, such as thunder or low-flying planes. An unbroken lining of copper mesh shields the recordings against any possibilities of radio waves getting accidentally picked up by the sensitive machines. Inside, the team outfits each room with the most state-of-the-art recording and mastering equipment available, complete with special modifications based on a breakthrough by Mr. Hubbard himself. In the early days of reel-to-reel recordings, tape recorders were built with tube electronics, which resulted in the highest possible sound quality of the time. But when played back on recorders with modern transistor electronics, the quality of these recordings did not match their original fidelity. Mr. Hubbard discovered the cause. That older tapes always sound better when played back through the same electronics that recorded them. Consequently, the full tonality of the original recordings could only be reproduced through tube electronics. Only problem is, modern playback equipment uses transistors, not tubes. Using older reel-to-reel machines was out of the question, since their tape mechanisms are crude and could easily damage the fragile 50-year-old originals. So the team engineers their own system with the most sophisticated playback equipment to gently transport the tape, but modified with hand-built vintage tube electronics to capture the full clarity and quality of every lecture Mr. Hubbard ever gave. It's a bit like retrofitting a classic Rolls-Royce with a Saturn V5 rocket. With this innovation, the team has everything they need to preserve the legacy recordings of their founder. Up next, the church's archival project discovers a tape that is seemingly beyond recovery. At the Church of Scientology's archival project, a salvage operation is underway. These original audio recordings of Mr. Hubbard's teachings have already long outlived their normal lifespan. To preserve them, the team must transfer each recording onto archival-grade tape stock. But the mere act of playing them may destroy them. It's a risk they will have to take with each of the 5,000 original recordings.
Okay, we're rolling here. Good.
The first run is a success.
Yep, looks good. VU meters are good.
So is the next. The system runs exactly as expected. But then they hit a problem. On this reel, the resulting signal is noisy and degraded, even when played back with the original tube electronics. Looking closer, they discover that the noise is not noise at all, but a series of additional audio recordings written on top of the original. A special chemical reveals the individual signals, and miraculously, the signals have narrowly avoided each other, leaving all recordings still intact. They engineer a specialized mounting system for the playhead that can make micro adjustments small enough to track each individual signal. It can be likened to using a fine-haired brush versus a sandblaster. Using this method, the team finds 4 distinct lectures on the tape and recovers all of them.
We go to these extreme lengths to preserve Mr. Hubbard's original writings and recordings because it's preserving the history and the actual embodiment of Dianetics and Scientology. If it's not preserved, it could be lost. And once they're gone forever.
This lecture, found by the recovery unit in a closet above a salon, is a mystery. No one knows exactly what the lecture is. All they know is that it is the most fragile that they have encountered so far. The iron oxide has crumbled into hundreds of tiny fragments. This is a worst-case scenario. Piece by piece, they reassemble the flecks, adhering each one back together, much like a microscopic jigsaw puzzle. The hope is that this data can still be recovered. It will require a careful use of the adjustable playhead and a little bit of luck. With the utmost care, playback begins.
Got a break?
Playback stops. The tape has snapped. Reconnecting the tape involves carefully realigning the broken pieces and adhesing them back together.
Good, all right. Let's crank her up.
Playback resumes.
You good here? Copies arranged.
It works. Inch by careful inch, they recover the reel in its entirety. And the mystery lecture is finally identified. This previously unknown recording fits into a series where Mr. Hubbard discusses breakthroughs in the subject of past lives. It's a crucial gap in the chronology of Scientology's evolution, now fully recovered and archived. In total, the archival project spends more than 70,000 hours transferring original recordings onto 66,000 reels of archival-grade magnetic tape that, when unwound, can circle the Earth nearly 1.5 times. Next up are the films.
The films are essentially a core body of Scientology principles in a visual form.
The emulsion that gives film its color has chemistry that remains active long after the film is developed. As a result, colors start to fade only after a few years. But the team has a solution.
We searched out and found that the longest lasting film is black and white film. It's got silver in it, so we know it's going to last 500, 1,000, maybe longer than that, years.
The original film is scanned into a high-resolution digital file and then separated into its composite colors.
In a computer, we create 3 channels, one for red, green, and blue. And we create a black and white film for each of these channels individually. In the future, those can then be combined back together again to make a color film.
To go a step further, the archival project turns to a recent innovation in the archival industry. This is the Cinnovator. Designed in Norway, this unique machine creates full-color film prints in real time, 25 times faster than a standard film recorder. It also stores the audio track directly on the film itself, providing a perfect color and audio reference for the black and white archival copies. With the film safely stored, the recordings successfully salvaged, and the original documents carefully preserved, the church's archival project is ready for its next step. Up next, the breakthrough that enables the church to create a book that will last 1,000 years. Phase 2 of the church's archival project will create an archival version of all the original works of Scientology's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, that can last not centuries, but millennia. It will require that the team finds the toughest and most durable paper, ink, and binding techniques in the world.
Our philosophy was to go back to things that had lasted. Things like linen from the mummies in the tombs of Egypt, glass, ceramic, all those materials have lasted for thousands of years, and that's what we use.
They first looked to formulas for ancient paper samples from around the globe. They also looked to modern formulas, including the reigning champion of sheer durability, paper currency. United States currency can withstand incredible abuse, repeated folding, handling, and even washing. While the actual recipe is a closely guarded secret, it's well known to consist of around 75% cotton. Building on this concept, the archival team works closely with paper engineers and chemists to design the ideal archival-grade paper for the project. Combining the longevity of linen with the durability of long cotton fibers and adding calcium carbonate to neutralize acidity, the team formulates a paper recipe that is utterly unique. It meets the criteria of being tough and dependably long-lasting. The next step is ink. This map fragment, found in China, dates to the 2nd century and is one of the oldest surviving documents in the world. Though water damage has largely destroyed the paper, the clarity of the ink is startling. A blend of linseed oil from flax seeds and tung oil from an indigenous tree in China, the ink's formula is naturally free of acid, remaining legible after 2,000 years of abuse by the elements. The team uses this as a base for their own custom formula. Natural oils act to carry the pigment deep into the fibers of the archival paper.
This ink bonds with the paper and actually becomes inherently a part of the paper, so that when you pull that piece of paper out, 100, 500, 1,000 years from now, you're going to be able to read it.
In addition to black ink, they create several colors that accurately capture Mr. Hubbard's original materials. To test their paper and ink formulas, they create a series of prototypes and subject them to the most punishing field tests imaginable. First is a fade test. A UV lamp creates the equivalent of a 2-year-long direct sunlight exposure. The team tests how much the ink will fade. It doesn't fade at all. Next, extreme temperatures. The prototypes get a bath in liquid nitrogen, dropping it to minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to cause it to shatter. But when they pull the page from the bath, it's virtually unaffected. So they bake it to a scorching 350 degrees. When they pull it from the oven, there's no evidence of charring or burning. In fact, it's practically flawless. The team subjects the prototypes to one last test: radiation. This machine simulates the core of a nuclear reactor. Even after the most extreme levels of radiation, there's not even a curl to the page, and the ink is dark, rich, and most importantly, legible. With the paper and ink formulas passing every test, the team turns their attention to the final element: binding.
Binding techniques today predominantly use glue because it's cheap. It's meant to last somewhere between 30 and 40 years, whereas what we're trying to do with these archival books is put them in a form to last hundreds, if not thousands of years.
The solution is clear. To safeguard Scientology's scriptural legacy into the future, the archival team must become masters of an ancient art. Traditional bookbinding is done by hand, by master craftsmen, and the results are nothing short of extraordinary. Each book is hand-sewn using acid-free linen thread sourced from Germany. The spine is reinforced with an ancient wheat paste formula and special fabric found in Holland. The final binding is made of heavy-duty archival-grade binder boards wrapped in raw Irish linen. The book is then packaged in a clamshell box, increasing its lifespan even further. The result is a book that will last over 1,000 years, representing the finest archival printing and binding technology in the world.
No one's ever done work like this. When you go to a paper house who says they have archival paper and go to an ink house that makes long life inks, the church took them to a level they've never achieved before. I have never seen in archival preservation anything higher.
With Mr. Hubbard's written work now protected in over 222 archival bound editions, attention turns to the recorded lectures. Even on the world's toughest archival grade tape, these recordings will only have a guaranteed lifespan of 50 years, not nearly long enough. It's a challenge that will require an entirely different approach and a whole new type of archival technology. Up next, electroforming and acid etching. How the team's innovations create an archive to last the millennia. The team on the Church of Scientology's archival project has spent years studying time's effect on material objects. Applying this expertise to create the archival bound editions, Scientology's written scripture will now last more than 1,000 years. But the recorded lectures are still at risk. The team is already using the toughest archival grade magnetic tape available, as well as special archival sleeves to prevent oxidation and deterioration. But the plastic-based tape is still fundamentally weak, and decay is unavoidable. It's a problem that threatens the entire audio industry.
There are a number of other institutions and groups that are trying to do very similar things, using modern technologies to try and store their most precious records, whatever it might be. Some of them are in digital technologies, but we know even those are unstable and unreliable.
The team turns to digital archiving, but finds that as sophisticated as digital technology is today, it is not yet a medium suitable for long-term archiving. So to preserve Mr. Hubbard's original recordings, they look to the world's oldest surviving recording medium, vinyl records. Traditional records are made using a mold to press audio grooves into a soft vinyl biscuit. Some of the earliest known records are still surprisingly audible, but the quality has suffered immensely. The weakness lies in the material itself, vinyl. The archival team needs something far stronger.
After testing with different gold and other types of plating materials, nickel definitely sounded the best.
Nickel is tough and resistant to corrosion. It is an ideal metal for an archival record, but it's too tough to press or to carve. The answer is electroforming. Electroforming uses positive and negative charges to break down pure metal balls into microscopic particles and draw them toward a metal base. This layer is then split off, creating an inverted copy. And by repeating the process with another layer of nickel, the team re-inverts the copy to create a playable archival nickel record. The process begins with a perfectly flat stainless steel disc, imported from the same mill that manufactures the backs of Rolex watches. The discs are electroplated with pure copper, creating a mirror-like surface that lends itself to perfect audio reproduction. The copper discs are then carved in the lathe studio. This high-precision machine operates independently on the shock-absorbent flooring, preventing external vibrations from degrading the sound quality. Pure nitrogen removes even the smallest particles. A single dust mote can distort the sound. The diamond tip cutter is positioned and checked under a microscope for accuracy and calibration. And the team carves a 1-minute sample into the record's edge. They test the quality against the digital file.
I'd like to tell you something of the story of Dianetics and Scientology. Some things I've never confided to anyone before.
Passing this test, the team cuts the lecture onto the plate. A helium stream cools the friction, and a tiny vacuum clears the copper. Completed and quality controlled, this record is now an official master. Back in the electroplating lab, the team creates the negative mold. This pass, however, will make the actual audio archive version of this lecture. The record is then electroplated again using nickel. This adds an ultra-thin layer of nickel as an airtight seal to preserve the record in mint condition. Pictograph instructions are laser etched into the seal, which is thin enough to peel away like aluminum foil, but durable enough to last the ages. The final result is an archival-grade audio recording that will survive at least 1,000 years. To truly preserve these materials into the future, the archival team must envision the future, and specifically, how will these records be played? So a player must be stored with the records. But with numerous moving parts, modern-day machines deteriorate quickly and break down without routine maintenance. And creating a player that could last as long as the records themselves will require NASA-level advances in playback technology. So that's exactly what they did. This is the Millennia Archival Player, designed by a former NASA electronics engineer and built specifically for the church's archival project. The nickel-plated record spins on a platter that's perfectly balanced on a precision-machined polished ruby bearing. Dense archival resin in the base minimizes environmental vibrations. And a polished diamond needle brings Mr. Hubbard's voice to life. The player can be plugged into an outlet. If no outlets, it runs on solar power. And if sun is hard to come by, then it can power up by hand crank. There are only 3 moving parts, and it requires no maintenance. It's the perfect complement to this audio archive, which has a total lifespan of at least 1,000 years, and likely much longer with proper storage conditions. The team now commits the written material, including all the transcripts for the films and lectures, to a form that is impervious to time. A solution they discovered in history itself. This acid-etched suit of armor is pristine after hundreds of years. These silver scrolls are legible after 1,300 years. And this lead book is almost 2,000 years old. The common denominator? Etched metal. But the team must determine which metal to use. Many samples are tried and ruled out, including marine-grade aluminum and space shuttle titanium, until they find this one, stainless steel number 304. The mining, chemical, and petroleum industries use this grade of steel because of its impenetrable nature. The team field tests it beyond the routine corrosion tests. They spray it for 6 solid days with salt water, then submerge it in sulfuric acid for 3 more days. Then they check the corrosion levels. There is no physical damage. It looks just the same as it did 9 days prior. This is the metal the team needs to complete the archival phase of their project. Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, is the first book to undergo this steel-bound transformation. The etching process begins with laser printing the text onto clear film. The film is then inspected at 100 times magnification. The adhesion of the film to the metal plate is accomplished in a space with precise lighting control. The etching process itself is entirely automated. Each plate travels through 50 feet of machinery, where it is acid etched front and back and thoroughly cleaned. And when the process is complete, only 15,000ths of an inch of steel remains. Etched plates are cut into individual sheets using a hydraulic punch press with 100 tons of pressure. 13 times the crushing force at the deepest part of the world's oceans, the Mariana Trench. Then they are given a fine brushing using a 3-foot belt traveling more than 1,500 revolutions per minute. And finally, each plate is chemically cleaned to remove contaminants and produce a pristine finish. Just this single copy of Dianetics weighs more than 100 pounds. Even exposed to the most brutal elements, these newly minted metal editions have a lifespan of over 12,000 years. In other words, these archival documents could have survived the entirety of recorded human history nearly twice over. But for the archival team, the goal was not simply to delay the effects of time. The goal was to conquer it. Up next, time capsules and atmospherically controlled vaults. The church's archival project shatters through the barriers to eternity. With materials that can last up to 12,000 years, the Church of Scientology's archival project could almost be considered complete. The only remaining question is where to put them. And so begins the final phase of the Church of Scientology's archival project: permanent storage. It begins with a time capsule. There are estimated to be more than 10,000 time capsules in the world. Beginning in the 1700s, they've been used by everyone, from the Founding Fathers to Ivy League academics, to preserve items of cultural value for future generations. But the contents of the vast majority of capsules opened thus far are highly deteriorated, and in some cases, totally destroyed. The church's archival team creates a custom capsule design that earns them 2 separate engineering patents. It starts with a solid titanium case, strong as steel, but half the weight. The corrugated sides of the capsule are crush-resistant, produced in industrial metal presses that generate tens of thousands of pounds of force. Aside from crushing, this capsule can withstand atomic flash, severe radiation, and subsequent fallout. It is unaffected by acids, alkaline corrosion, and salt water, drought, extreme temperatures, and it has a melting point of more than 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is close to the temperature of volcanic lava. The size of every item in the entire library is configured to exact specifications. From the outset, the team had this endgame in mind the whole time.
All the materials in the library, the stainless steel plates, the archival books, the Millennium Editions, and the metal records are all sized exactly to fit in that one time capsule.
Loaded with materials, the team seals the container with a continuous solid, pure silver wire. The precision fit of this seal forms an airtight connection that can hold for centuries. They tighten the 36 solid titanium bolts in a specific pattern to an exact torque specification. Then the team evacuates the oxygen and fills it with argon gas, which is stable and inactive. The team confirms the integrity of the seal with a leak detector. With the seal confirmed, they place the time capsule into a thermal container. The inner core of this container is the same ceramic tile used to protect spacecraft while re-entering the atmosphere. Its shell is reinforced with a fine stainless steel mesh and skinned with silicone. To hold the time capsules, the team engineers a custom rack. It holds 6 thermal containers and supports 2,000 pounds of scripture. Once fully loaded, the racks are wrapped in a heat-reflective thermal blanket.
The most exciting testing we did was the blast furnaces. We were able to run the heat now at 1,800 degrees with the capsule inside. And the capsule had no noticeable change whatsoever.
It seems that the team has managed the impossible. They have created an archive that is unerasable, unshatterable, and indestructible. There's just one thing left for the team to do: deliver the fully loaded racks to the vault. Drilled more than 400 feet into a remote hillside and some 60 feet down, this vault lays on a thick bed of reinforced solid concrete. It is a 2-story, 375-foot cylindrical steel structure, constructed of 450 independent segments of welded steel plates, wrapped in a network of more than 3 miles of 1-inch stainless steel cable. The 2 interior levels of the vault provide nearly 13,000 square feet of storage space and fit more than 600 stainless steel storage racks. Additional steel cables suspend the upper floor, allowing it to move independently from the lower floor. As a result, every part of it is flexible. A rigid, fixed structure, when hit by a forceful wave, will break, crack, or bend out of shape. But a structure that can move with energy waves can thereby protect the contents within. It is this exact reason the team designed the vault this way. It is one of the only items that the team was never able to fully test, until nature did it for them.
Well, essentially, we got a test that we didn't really plan on with this vault, which is that we had a fairly major earthquake. One of our staff was actually inside the vault, and when the earthquake happened, it was a rolling earthquake, and he could see the door down at the end of the vault, and the door would actually go out of his sight and then back in again. The vault was actually moving around 3 feet from end to end, which is pretty major. And he's safe and he's here today because that vault is constructed as it is and moved and shifted exactly like it was supposed to, exactly as it was designed by the engineers.
With this assurance that Scientology's scripture will last into the future, no matter what happens, the task the team set out to accomplish is done. Decades of research, development, and painstakingly detailed work, the Church of Scientology's archival project has resulted in the preservation of Mr. Hubbard's life's work, the Millennium Edition archival books, the impervious metal records, and steel-bound books, and the time-defying permanent storage. Scientology's scripture is a virtually indestructible library, safeguarded against whatever eventuality. The Church's archival project has ensured that the materials of Scientology will be here for eternity.